Hi, thank you for joining me. This is Kelly, aka the Sunshine Crafter. In this video, I'm going to be using Concord & Nine's new holiday release. I'm going to be using their stocking stuffer set and the Christmas floral set. And on the inside, I'll be using Hero Arts for the sentiment. Anyway, these are the different items I'll be using, and let's move on. So, in the interest of saving time, I already stamped and colored my stocking to, save time. And I cut out my little slider mechanism, and I stamped my sentiment on there as well. And my little topper, or stuffer, I'm not sure what you call it, I colored that in as well. So, and my panel, I also used the poinsettia stamp from Christmas Floral to create some pattern in the background, and I just used Versamark onto the panel. So it's very, tone on tone. All right, so now this slider mechanism is very easy to maneuver. This is I made one other card, which is the pink one. You'll see it in the photos, and I'll show you at the end of the video. But this one is my second one, and because, let me tell you what happened. It's not Concord & Nine's error, it's mine. Because I took my little die there to make my opening for my thing, and I made it too high. So I had a movie on in the background. I wasn't paying attention. I was making this, filming, watching TV, and doing this as I went. And you'll see. I'll show you how I fixed it. Okay, now I wanted a mat underneath. To match my stocking, and so I used a Copic to color in the border, so that will be matted on my card front to, you'll see, to stick out from my panel, so you see a little bit of the teal sticking out. And I'll have the color marker linked below. All the supplies will be linked below in case you're so generous and so wonderful to use my affiliate links. I truly appreciate it, but they're there if you want to even just look at something. Okay, I use Tombow glue. I always go around, make an S for sunshine, and glue my panel down, just enough where the teal is sticking out. And here is where I screwed up. I adhered my little stocking stuffer part to my stocking instead of my slider mechanism. Way to go, Kelly. Way to go. You know what? I had the movie Mean Girls on in the background, and I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I've seen it so many times, and I just still get distracted. I was watching it and laughing. So anyway, I made a mistake, and you'll see here what I did. I realized, oh no, it's not high enough because you can't see my sentiment on my slider thing. So actually what I did was I made it too high, not too low. I made it too high. So I got annoyed with myself, and I had to redo it. So I'm like, wait. And another thing to note, don't put the adhesive on the stocking stuffer part. Put it on the sliding mechanism. I did this all correct the first time, because the first time I didn't have the TV on. So TV is not good for me. I get easily distracted. So yeah, see what I'm doing here? No, wrong. Because then the adhesive extends too far out and it sticks to your panel. Bad move. So don't do that. So save yourself some aggravation. Anyway, so yeah, here, mistake. Okay, so yeah, I was annoyed. I paused the video for a minute, let out some sighs, some screams, and then I realized, this isn't a big deal. I can just recut it. So yeah, it was too low, so therefore you have to go the opposite. If it's too low, the sentiment wasn't showing, I had to go bring it up higher, so the sentiment would show entirely. Okay, so yeah, and then I realized, I had to put the adhesive on the slider part. There you go. So, and here's another thing. When you glue your stocking down, make sure you don't glue the middle part. Otherwise, you're going to glue your slider mechanism. I didn't do that, believe it or not, but yeah. And you can once I got the stocking down and adhered, then I just added a tiny bit of glue up by where the edges of the stocking meet the card panel. Right up, see right there. I add a little bit of glue there, and I use Distress Collage Medium with a fine tip applicator. Got in there, just put a little drop on each side so it wouldn't be sticking up. Then I thought my panel looked kind of plain, so I took a number 8 jelly, 8 or 10, I forget. I'll look. Actually, it was a 10. I took a 10 Jelly Roll pen, and I went ahead and made some faux stitching. Now, the reason why I skipped the bottom is because I didn't want my ruler to lay over the other stitches and smear them. Yes, I've done that before. And so now I go from side to side, and by the time I get to the next thing, you know, usually it dries. I usually give it a couple seconds because I have smeared my stitches before and then ruined a panel that I worked so hard on when all I was trying to do was add some finishing touches and blew the whole thing. So yeah, always give that time to dry before you put your ruler over it, if you choose to do so. Okay, so now I'm like pretty happy with it, and I'm like, yeah, I like it. And now you don't really need to do this, but this is a really thin foam. I got it from the Dollar General for $1.25. I mean, seriously, $1.25. So it's really thin foam, and it's good for just when you need a slight bit of dimension. You could probably get on without using this because it slides nicely, but I just use it just to be safe. And being sure not to put tape around your sliding mechanism. And then I took, for the inside panel, I took a distress marker in peacock feathers, and I just went around and did some more faux stitching. It just looks nice when you open up the card and you see this little stitching with, you know, some design and your sentiment in there. I think it looks nice. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of the faux stitching. Okay, so yeah, and here's another tip. If you're using a T-ruler or any ruler and you use it with a marker, make sure you wipe it. I use an alcohol wipe. I use them a lot for a lot of things, but make sure you wipe it. Otherwise, you risk the chance of transferring that ink into another project. Again, I've done it. So, yeah. Now, Hero Art Sentiment to the in the middle of the inside card, and I'm just adding that in. And I have a new Memento Tuxedo Black ink pad, so I just needed one impression. Boom, done. Glued that in, and then I said, okay, yeah, that's done, that's good. And then as I'm looking, I'm like, you know, my stripes are kind of plain, and I added some white stitching to my little slider inside there, which I accidentally didn't record, but that's in there, white stitching to match the outside. And I took this Delusion paint pen in orange, and I made little stripes. For some reason, they don't look orange on the video, but they're orange or coral to match the candy canes. So I added little stripes and some white dots, as you can see, to the stocking, just to make it a little more fun. And then some Morning Dew, I think that's what they're called, Nuvo drops, in clear, just for a little more fun. Moved that around, and I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to block my slider when it goes up and down. Again, I've done that too. So I always tap my card to round out my drops. Now this says Crystal Glaze in my fine tip applicator, but it's not. It's just a label that's been on there forever. So it's Glossy Accents, and I use this pretty much on every card. And what I did was, I'm a little off screen here, and I apologize for that. I'll slide it up in a minute. I just added Glossy Accents, and I pulled up my mechanism a little bit so it didn't accidentally ooze onto the stocking and glue it shut. So I pulled it up a little bit, added some Glossy Accents to my stocking stuffer images, my candy canes and the leaves and whatnot. So I added that, makes it a little more shiny, a little more fun, and there you go. That's pretty much it. And I did add a little shimmer pen to the stocking, but you can't really see that, unfortunately, in this video. But yeah, a little shimmer on there just to make it a little more sparkly. And yeah, there you go. You can see it a little bit. There it is. There you go. Okay, so there's the card. I hope you like it. And I have the pink one coming up behind this one. I'll show you. Okay, now here's the pink one. In the background for this, I used a Turnabout, Snowflake Turnabout stamp. And I did a different stocking stuffer. Now here, I used a tag for the pull here. I punched a little hole in my stocking stuffer image, tied a little silver thread through there to match the silver snowflakes, and yeah, you could see it's just taped, glued on there safely. Added some foam tape behind this one as well. There's my inside. Very similar, but different looks. Thank you again so much for stopping by. It truly, truly means so much to me. If you haven't already, perhaps consider subscribing and liking, commenting. I truly appreciate it.